Welcome back, everybody. Today we got another exciting video. We're going to be going over a couple different social networks that I think are really important for researchers to have. So without any further ado, let's get into it. The first one is LinkedIn. Now this is one that's going to be good whether you're in academia or in industry. And actually I think both are, but one is more focused on publications and one's more focused on networking and showing your accomplishments. So the first one, LinkedIn, obviously, I think everybody's heard of it, is one that's more focused on networking and showing your accomplishments that you've done. So this is actually my LinkedIn profile. And when you go to someone's profile, you could get a lot of information about them, their name, their position, where they're located, their company that they're at. You have ways to show recruiters you're open to working. I'm not. I'm very happy in my position. If you were looking for clients, you could advertise that as well. They give you scores on how much info you've put in. Is there enough in there for people to really get an idea of who you are? You could see who's seen your profile, posts that you've made, how many searches, their education and their experience and their skills and interests. There's a whole lot of things that you could get on here if you look at somebody's profile. But really what you need to ultimately do is build your network. So this is, you could click in here and view your network. So how many connections I have, the groups I'm in, pages I follow. There's all kinds of ways to build your network. And then as you build your network, you kind of have a home feed here where you could see, for example, if somebody works at Thermo and they're selling things, maybe they post an advertisement, or maybe your friends are connected with a recruiter. Let's see if I have any that'll show up. Here's someone that's at talent acquisition in eDev at BMS, and they're hiring a director of clinical pharm. So job openings could show up as well. Here we'll give it a like. There's people will post things about conferences. So there's all kinds of things that could be posted, including things like awards, motivational things. It's a good way to see what your fellow connections have been up to and for you to showcase things. So if you win an award or if you have a new publication, it's a good way to get out there and advertise it. I think this is one of the big things that people need to do a better job in the sciences is advertising what we've accomplished, okay? The other really big thing that LinkedIn could help you with is if you're looking for a job. So if you go over to the jobs panel, you could see recent job searches. So when I was doing my postdoc, I was searching for a bioanalytical position. So these are the bioanalytical searches that I did when I was looking for one, which now I have. Based on what you've searched for and what your degrees are, that there's algorithms that try to give you suggestions. So these are some suggestions that they're putting out there, like, hey, maybe you want to apply for these. None of these are necessarily very applicable to me. I don't really know anything about antibody discovery, but they try. And you could search by things like title or zip code. You could save jobs, make job alerts. So let's say that, when I was in my postdoc and I was looking for a bioanalytical position, I could actually save a search for bioanalytical within the greater Boston area. And anytime a job like that would come up, I'd be able to go in and look at it. You could get salary insights. So are you being paid fairly, compared to others within your position? Skill assessments, interview prep, resume builder, application settings. So there's like a whole lot of things that you could really dive in here if you are looking for a job. And I think that in sciences, if you are looking for a job, LinkedIn is an excellent way to do that. Other places that you can, if you're looking, are something like Mass Bio, which has a lot of industry positions within the Boston area, Indeed. But I think that really LinkedIn is probably one of the better places to look. So that's just, a quick overview of LinkedIn. I think that you could probably make tons of videos, an entire series of videos on LinkedIn, going over every little detail of LinkedIn, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention that it's something to use. The other one is ResearchGate. Now this one is more focused on publications and what you've done in terms of your publications, but I think that it's an important one, even if you're somebody like myself that is in industry. So for ResearchGate, it'll give you, your name and picture. It'll give you a score. So I would say that if you're somebody that's just starting off in grad school, you'll have a score in the single digits. As you move through grad school, maybe you get into the double digit score of like 10 to 15. As you go through your postdoc, you'll get up into the 20s. If you've really published a lot, you'll start to get over 30. And, a lot of assistant professors are in the 30 range, and then 40s is a more developed, more senior investigator. And then someone in the 50s is someone that's, published hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of papers and been cited tens of thousands of times. So it'll give you your score. Mine's are right around 30, which for the amount I've published sounds about right. As someone that's gone through grad school and a postdoc and published a decent amount. You could highlight some of the papers that you want to highlight. So these are ones that I selected to highlight that were more recent papers. And I think that this is a really a nice place to find research. So what it will do is give you a mix of people that you're connected with. So I'm connected with Mike, and it's showing me a preprint that he put on here. But it will also show suggestions, and it's not just publications, but also questions. So which way to dissolve tamoxifen is better. So someone has a question on how should I dissolve tamoxifen. So I've seen people do it with ethanol, but this new lab uses peanut oil. So which way is better? So it's a question and answer site, and it's also publications. And you could see that I have a whole mix of things that are both people I'm connected with and then people that I'm not necessarily connected with that have shown up. And it tries to curate this, and it gives you a good feel for what is out there. And it's a good way to discover both the research that others are doing, but also for you to be able to actually come back and figure out, how do I stack up against others? You could obviously do something like Google Scholar, but this is a way for you to kind of get a visualization of, okay, for somebody at my level, am I publishing enough? And it's a pretty nice tool. And it also is a good way to show off your stuff. So if you want to, apply for a position as a postdoc, you could say, hey, these are my publications, and here, if you want to check them out, like this is my ResearchGate profile, and give a link for that. So it's a nice thing to have, I think. So just something to think about. With that, I think we could call it a video. It's a little bit shorter of a video, but I really wanted to just point out a couple different social networking opportunities that I don't see getting enough attention on some of these videos that are out there on YouTube, and I just wanted to bring some awareness to these. Again, if you have questions on ResearchGate or LinkedIn, you could leave them in the comments and I can answer them. And I'm sure that they're, especially for LinkedIn, but I'm guessing also for ResearchGate, there's probably, already dedicated videos to each of them out there that will go very in depth. So just something to think about. And with that, I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.